Welcome to our coverage of the 57th Daisy BB Gun Nationals hosted in Rogers, Arkansas. With nearly 500 competitors, this year's event featured not only the team BB gun matches for the national title, but also 10-meter air rifle, returning champions matches, and the all-new Top 10 shootout. We'll also be bringing you interviews with teams, coaches, and competitors, as well as our discussions with Robert Barr, president of the NRA, Scott Stuhr, program coordinator for the National 4-H Shooting Sports, and of course Keith Higginbotham, president of Daisy. It was a jam-packed event, and we are excited to bring you our coverage of the 2024 Daisy Nationals. Let's get started. Hey guys, it's Rick here with AirgunWeb. We're at the Daisy Nationals 2024. I've got Ryan here. He's one of the coaches, and we got to talking about some of the challenges you guys face with either creating a team, maintaining a team, traveling with the team, and just there's a lot to it, right? I mean, tell me a little bit about your journey.
Oh, wow. Well, we started with my daughter shooting, and we were just developing the program in Ray County, Tennessee, that is. Very small program, and it's grown quite a bit since then. Made it to Daisy Nationals, and we've learned a lot from other teams around here, which has been a really, really cool thing to pick up on what other people have done.
Sure.
We've learned how to travel light as possible, but wow, that's a different story in and of itself altogether. So
you guys drove here.
We did,
and
yes.
It was what, about 14-hour drive or so, plus minus?
Something like that, I believe so, yeah.
We had the same type of distance. I mean, Rogers, you'd think it's so central, but it's like everybody's so far away. I mean, we're 14 hours from El Paso, so it's a haul to get here. And I carry a bunch of gear, but nothing like what you guys got to deal with, because it's just me, my wife, maybe my daughter, some luggage, some camera gear, and we're done. But how many people did you bring with you?
Total of 8.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, not too bad for us. Some folks did a whole lot more than that.
So. I was talking to the team from Oregon, they had 30.
Oh, wow.
The airline the airline fares alone were astronomical because they had to fly in.
Well, we had 8 shooters, but as far as the parents and stuff,
yeah,
we're in the 20s.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Like, let's go all in, like grandma, grandpa. I was teasing another group, the fourth cousin once removed. The whole crew that comes in, right? So you guys had in the 20s, like you said. So that's Absolutely. A lot. That's not just like a van. That's a caravan that you guys used to get here. So what did you guys have to do what kind of obstacles, like when you were first thinking about, all right, my daughter wants to shoot, how did it go from there to you're coaching a team, you're maintaining a team, you're traveling with a team? How did it, I mean, what are some of the steps, what are some of the challenges that you faced, and then how did you overcome them?
Well, I actually started coaching her second year. So her first year, the program had just started, had been around for a year or two, I believe, maybe a little bit longer than that, but they never had been really competitive, shall we say, and then not taking the credit for it. But the first year that I started helping to coach, I wasn't the head coach at that time, we actually did win the state competition in the 4-H BB Jamboree.
Excellent.
We brought a team at that point of 5 kids plus 2 alternates, I believe it was, and have continued to grow since then.
That's awesome. How many children do you have in your program right now? Rough numbers.
Well, at one point this year, we had 34 kids shooting with our team.
Wow. And how do you pick the top shooters come here, I'm guessing, is the deal, right?
So, yes. I wish it was that easy. We have competing schedules and things along those lines. Sure. But for the most part, yes, we go by aggregate scores. We keep a spreadsheet, and some kids can't make it every night. So we try to keep averages as long as they have enough practices in, and we pick the team based upon the scores.
That's really wild. That's a lot. That's a deep pool to pull from. How many coaches do you have?
So here at Daisy Nationals, it's myself and my dad.
Okay.
That's the head coach and the alternate coach, the secondary coach, and then one of the parents also was on the champions line with his son.
Okay.
But we have a total. You put me on the spot on that one. I'm thinking it's 8 coaches total that we split up the load between.
That's excellent. And 4-H a big part of what you guys are doing? I'm seeing the 4-H.
Yes, we are. We are a 4-H program, and we're in the same buildings that they do the chickens and the cows and everything else.
Okay.
And
well, the chickens get outlined. You got BB guns to get them right back in.
Well, they're not at the same time. But,
yes. Okay. I was thinking. No, you never know. okay, going back to like those early days, the program was already in place. I'm just thinking if I was a person, I have a youngster that wants to shoot, maybe they've got 5 or 6 friends that, gosh, that's kind of cool, maybe we could do it. That person may go, gosh, I could never be a coach. I could never do it. But I don't think that's really true. I think the path to doing something is far more accessible than people would imagine. So kind of bring me through that. I had that same discussion with Scott, the 4-H guy, and he was really saying, look, we want people to do this. So if you're out there and you're thinking, gosh, this looks really cool, it might be really good for my youngster to get some discipline, get some gun education, get some safety, get some, teamwork, camaraderie, these things, but I just don't know if I can do it. I'm thinking that barrier to entry is not nearly as bad as people may have a mental picture of. So walk me through that.
Absolutely. I'll tell you right now, there's actually at least one, if not 2 teams here at Nationals right now from Tennessee that they have not been around but just a couple of years themselves. The great thing about this sport is it's a lot of camaraderie. We compete, but it's a friendly competition. So when we show up at the state competitions, a lot of those people show up and say, we don't know what to do. We know most of the rules. We have most of the equipment. We let them borrow equipment. We try to bring a little bit of extra. We try to coach the coaches there at the competitions, and they can just look over their shoulder either direction and pick up on what the other people are doing at the lines. It might take a year or 2, but once they do that for a few years, they build the team up, and the next thing you know, they're really in competition.
Yeah, because it is a skill set. I mean, it's not easy. To shoot in the 90s is not easy. It's
not
hard.
At all.
It's hard. So the idea that anybody can do it, that's not, I mean, anybody can try, but to be competitive takes work, right? So it takes a lot of effort. I know when I was talking to Scott at 4-H, they provide like training programs to get like that person that is thinking about coaching to being a certified level 1, however that terminology is, coach, where then they can begin coaching a team. If you get to that level and you've got some kids in the community that start doing it, what would somebody do next? Is there like some path, some sort of thing? Is it like getting just a shooting club together to gain like awareness? I mean, what do you think would help? Because I guess the point is we need more shooters. I mean, even though we have thousands, I mean, there's 500 competitors plus or minus here for these few days, which is like just the top some percent of a percent, right, out of the whole country. But we still need more, right? So we need the kids off the couch and doing something more productive. This is a great productive thing. So what could you started with a program that was sort of started already, but what would you think if you said, man, I got to start this from scratch? What do you think you do? How do you think you do that?
Well, thankfully, I didn't have to worry about the challenge of starting it from scratch. It was already there, and it was already formed, just wasn't necessarily matured yet. But I've talked to several different coaches who have started new programs. And once again, talk to your ag extension agent if it's 4-H. I can't speak for the other groups. But also reach out to those state agents as well, and hopefully they can put you in contact with some other coaches. I want to share information. I love talking to the other coaches and help them develop their programs. There's no secrets to what we're doing. Right. I'm not teaching anything that's Ryan O'Keefe's super awesome 14-step method, right? This is the same stuff that they teach.
Not yet. Book available soon.
Well, this is the same types of marksmanship principles and concepts they teach in the military, law enforcement, and it's very applicable to other types of shooting sports and methodologies, shall we say, as well.
Okay. So it sounds to me like 4-H is really an anchor. That's like a starting point.
It would be, yes.
Get on their website, and I'll have links. We talk to Scott, and maybe we'll intersperse some of these videos together because they're very in sync with each other. But it sounds like 4-H is really a good starting point. And then you have companies like Daisy that have the equipment and also want to help, want to encourage the shooting sports. And then there's other outfits beyond that actually can provide financial assistance. So absolutely. I think that these barriers to entry, whether it's I don't know what I'm doing, I've never done this before, well, there's people that want to help you do it. We don't have any money, it's impossible for us to do it. Well, there's people that help you do that too. We don't know where to do it. Well, I think you can get help with that, again, with 4-H and
absolutely.
stuff. So I think if it's something you think is valuable for your community or your church, your school, your I don't know, whatever, your backyard, 30 friends that come over with kids and whatever it is, there's a place where you can actually do this, have a lot of fun, and actually instill some really important life lessons, life learning, life at a young age to help prepare them as they get older. I mean, that's my best guess. I mean, you've done it. I watch those that have done it. I haven't tried to do this myself, but it looks like you guys really enjoy what you're doing.
Absolutely. It's a blast. It's a lot of work, but it's rewarding for sure.
Okay. Last question I have, and this is kind of one I just need you to be straight up and honest with me, okay? Because this is important. What do you see from groups like maybe the NRA was here, 4-H was here, Daisy's here? What do you think they can do to help you guys do more?
Wow.
I mean, what would help you either grow your program, better supply your program, help you? I mean, because you guys got to travel and there's lots of expenses that go into it. It's not just show up and shoot a few BBs and you're done for the day. There's a lot that goes into it. What do you think they can do? Or if you had like a direct line to them, boy, we could really use help with this. What would you say?
Funding is always helpful, obviously, okay. But you know, the good thing about us in our community, 4-H is well known, and it's a strong base to begin with, so we can do some fundraising, and hence the jersey that I'm wearing now, front and back, of all the sponsors that helped us to get here. We're also trying our best to change a few things around. They've allowed us to start doing an entry fee, which we have not done previously. We tried to remove as many barriers as possible.
Right.
We still don't want there to be barriers for that. But with that being said, having that fund to go ahead and have the startup for purchasing the guns and the equipment and everything else. Guns are expensive. Thankfully, Daisy does offer discounts to folks who are ordering through the 4-H shooting sports programs. I'm sure the other programs it's the same as well. So it takes some time to build up that equipment and to figure out how to utilize all of that. But they have a really good base training education program that helps us to get started. But funding is always a challenge.
Okay. All right. So funding's a challenge. I don't know if you want to share the dollar figure, but I could. What did it cost you guys to get here this year? Rough number.
Oh, goodness gracious. We've added that up in the past, and we didn't necessarily do that this year. So we're probably looking at about $1,500 per person for just your base expenses, hotel, meals, gas, and things along those lines. Yeah, okay. And then, of course, your other souvenirs or whatever else are added to that as well.
Yeah, all right. So that's a lot. If you've got 20 people coming, you can do the math.
It adds up quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. It adds up in a hurry. So, and I know the one team that came here from Oregon, I think they had their airplane bills about 20 grand. So you're looking at the commitment and time to get here, as far as the skill set to qualify to be here, but then the getting here is also like another huge hurdle for a lot of folks. And it's been really inspiring to hear how the different teams have dealt with it. One team did a raffle. The team I was just talking to a while ago, they sold spaghetti. How you sell spaghetti in enough volume to be, I don't know. But hey, 2 thumbs up. They're here, right? So that commitment to get out. And actually I remember as a kid in band or whatever I was in at the time, baseball, and we needed stuff. We would go raise money to do it. That in and of itself is actually a good skill set for kids to have to go do that. So it sounds like it's just good. It's just a good program from the start to the finish. But it sounds like there's a few things that maybe additional funding or additional discounts might help. I would think like what I can do is really generate more awareness.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where maybe the NRA and I know 4-H, I know we have a new director, or 4-H has a new director of the shooting sports. I think Scott's fairly new. Scott, if I got that wrong, forgive me, right? But I think he's fairly new at that. But it sounds like that's going to be a focus to build the awareness. If we have more people aware of the benefits, then I can see that the other things might get easier.
And if I can say this too, I think we talked about this over breakfast as well. This competition is great. It's excellent to bring kids and be competitive. But as far as I'm concerned as a coach, I've got several kids who come in to our program. I said we had 32 kids when we started out this year. Actually, we whittled it down to 32 shooting competitors at one point, I believe. But if I could have a kid come in and shoot with me for one season, never even go to competition, as far as I'm concerned, I'm teaching them the principles of firearm safety, principles of marksmanship, which are applicable in other areas, and good sportsmanship. Those are lifelong lessons, and
Right.
I might save a life.
Yeah.
You know, so there's great value to this beyond Daisy Nationals, beyond the state competitions, beyond placing in ribbons and trophies.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's the big picture. I mean, I don't know if anybody here is going to make a living doing this. Maybe. You never know. But maybe. But most likely, the things they learn here will help them do better as they go forward. And that's huge. And so I think that's going to be it. I really appreciate your time. I know you guys are done for the day, right? You guys are wrapped?
I believe so.
You're wrapped. I'm not done for the day. I've got to go grab Keith, CEO of Gamo, because he owes me an interview. I got to go wrangle him. But
He has hair now. You can ask about his hair.
oh, I think it must be a wig, because he didn't have hair otherwise.
It may or may not be a mullet. But
Maybe, okay. We'll find out when we get Keith on camera. But I want to say thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. And we will be back later with some more videos here from Daisy Nationals 2024. My name's Rick. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching our coverage of the 2024 Daisy Nationals. If you would like to learn more about the Daisy Nationals or other shooting programs mentioned in this video, please be sure to check out the links in the video description. Thank you again for watching, and we hope to see you again next year.